Hello, Dumaguete.
Hello, Negros Oriental.
Hello, Sillimanians around the world.
This is Joshua Soldivillo.
And this is Ronelyn Faith Vailoces-No.
You're watching
Silliman.
Good evening, everyone. This is a magazine show that talks about different aspects of Silliman University, a program initiated to discuss different matters concerning the campus by the sea. You are watching #Silliman. Hello there, Sillimanians and friends of Silliman around the world. Daghang salamat for joining us once again, and thank you so much for choosing #Silliman to be your Monday night company. And as you join us tonight, we bid you an excellent state of health, and we pray and we hope that August is kinder to you this time. And we are also very excited as we begin and commence our celebration here in the university as we usher the 124th anniversary of our dear old Silliman. So to our alumni there, hello and happy Founders Day. But of course, here in Silliman University, friends, there are a lot of things that are happening, and one of which is this interesting visit of an exchange fellow all the way from Bozeman, Montana, United States of America. And I can't wait to introduce her. Friends, we have tonight on the show Miss Lorca Smetana. Lorca, welcome to #Silliman.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
And welcome to the Philippines. Welcome to Dumaguete. Welcome to Silliman. Right. So I think a lot of you guys would be very curious why we have Lorca on the show. But essentially, she's here for an exchange experience. So way back in the last quarter of 2024, I get the chance to be chosen as one of the young professionals to experience the YSEALI PFP exchange program. And there was another layer of funding that would be supporting exchange fellows from the United States to come here in the Philippines. And fortunately, I'm truly fortunate to have been awarded by the U.S. Department of State a funding to invite an exchange fellow to come here in the Philippines. And we have no less Lorca with us. Right. So, Lorca, can you share to us the things that you are doing, your area of expertise, your profession, or if you would be comfortable, your family life in the United States?
Yes. So I live currently in Bozeman, Montana, but I'm working with people much farther afield. And it has been a journey of being infinitely curious about how we make ourselves into stronger and stronger forces that meet the world. So the word that I chose for that is resilience. Mm-hmm. How do we be beautifully resilient in meeting the world? And that has invited me into working with leaders mm-hmm. like yourself, yeah. with companies, with state prison systems, with people who are dying, emergency responders, practitioners. I have been so rejoicing in the breadth of humans who are not only interested in, but who are counting on this, yeah. having this conversation with themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very beautiful process, establishing, sustaining that conversation with ourselves. Yeah. Now, I think in my lifetime, I'm less than 30 years old. It's very few that I have encountered to specialize and to really add health to this area of resilience. What's your story, Lorca, and how did you passionately worked for resilience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would say there's several layers. My academic background is in international studies, in studying history of people through time, mm-hmm. and philosophy, and somewhat also in religion. And so that took me through a graduate degree at the University of Washington. And also parallel to my academic career, there has been a thread of working with the wilderness. So
Right.
taking children into the wilderness, being taken myself by my father, who was a pioneering mountaineer, and my parents, and intimately interacting again and again with situations where we are not in control, and that's okay, right? And so that added another layer of exploration of what is it to be resilient when you are in control of things mostly, but also how can you be resilient when you are not. But the roots of all of this for me started much earlier when I was a student in high school. And as a member of the climbing team there, as part of our school, I participated in a climb on Mount Hood in Oregon, in the United States, and we were hit by a storm on this climb, and it trapped some of my companions for 4 days, and I had come off the mountain right. I was the last person to walk down. And for those who were trapped, by the time that they were found again, we had lost 2 teachers and 7 of my classmates.
I'm so sorry for that, Lorca.
Thank you. And it was a very sudden and immediate and hugely important invitation for me to reevaluate the tools that I already had to continue on living and living well, and to begin the process of healing and figure out what helps and what doesn't. And but also on the larger scale, to ask myself, what is it to be one who can be with hard things and still be alive and giving and still joyful some? And the whole rest of my life has been the unfolding in that exploration of who are the people who are amazing at this, what do they do, what don't they do, what do they let go, and how can we be with these questions playfully and creatively and regeneratively through time, and then transmit them to everybody else around us who needs them too.
Yeah, wow. I was just like really immersed, as you were narrating that story. And I think that's while coming off from, or a derivative of a tragedy, but I would still, that is still a beautiful story, how you were able to shift the narrative into resilience, coming out stronger, and being able to share this to us now, Given all of this, what have been your greatest lesson? If I'm sure there exists a lot of things, and in our days together, we've been talking about this number of tools. But if you were to distill all of this, to which do they head to? What's the bottom line when we talk about resilience?
I love this question. So in a situation that requires resilience, right? Because when we're well and happy and comfortable, we don't need it as much, right? So in any situation where things are hard, stressful, tight, painful, then I believe I would ask 3 questions. And with the answers to those 3 questions, and even in the asking, we shift ourselves into a place where we will have a different outcome than we would have otherwise. So the first piece would be to ask myself, where do we need to add space? Where are things too tight? Where can we add spaciousness in time, in distance, in emotional spaciousness, perhaps? Maybe even just like taking a deep breath and space into your rib cage. Very often a bad situation, something is compressed and then fragile. So adding space. Then the second thing I would ask is, what are the systems that are at play, and could I add health into any of those systems? And because systems are already have momentum and they already have structure. And,
And,
so,
when you say adding health, that
yeah,
means
yeah, adding health could look like looking at perhaps what are the communication possibilities that are already set up. Can we improve those? What are the structural or the infrastructure systems or the informational systems, or even a biological system, right? I could have lunch, and that would improve the health of the blood sugar of this system. Yeah. So, and then a healthy system moves forward, accompanying you into the future. So that would be leveraged. And then the last question I think that we can always ask, and there's always an answer to any of these three questions somewhere, is could we add lightness? Is there any place where things are too dark, too heavy, too serious? Even am I taking myself too seriously? And or do we need, flashlights? It could be literal or not. And by asking these three questions, you not only are inviting solutions from yourself and anyone you're with, but they are actionable very often.
Right.
But beyond that, you actually are even bringing yourself from your lizard brain where you've gone because you're in fear or tension, and you have activated your prefrontal cortex again. And so you have a more full self that is ready to meet the hard thing.
Wow. So that would mean adding space, adding health,
yes,
and adding lightness.
Yes.
Wow.
That's
well, Lorca, we're just going to pause for a short break. But when we come back, let's talk more about your experience coming over to the Philippines, how the Silliman experience has been for you, yes, and how the meetings and conversations with Filipino students, with teachers, with the librarians, right? Yes. Well, friends, all of that and more when #Silliman returns. Please stay with us.
Silliman University, a place where every corner tells a story of dedication, growth, and excellence. But beyond our classrooms, our school has fostered a revolution against waste. Our story is a passionate call for environmental responsibility, directly tackling waste challenges often faced by big institutions. And this all began with a move in the right direction, the bold step to reinforce policies and firmly ban plastics in campus. This is the Silliman University Waste Management Success Story.
Here at Silliman University, we take our role as stewards of God's creation seriously. Thus, it was imperative for us to develop environment principles, policies, and guidelines.
Silliman University has published, after approval of the Board of Trustees, its guidelines, principles, and policies on environmental sustainability. And zero waste plastic, or a plastic ban, is part of that.
Taking care of the environment is not an easy task. It requires passion, commitment, resilience, and initiative. Change does not happen overnight, so we can only do so much. In Silliman University, students are expected to go beyond what's expected. And so, for every event that they organize, they are required to submit protocols and zero waste management plan before their events are given approval.
At Silliman University, our education transcends textbooks.
At Silliman, this isn't just a bag. It's a stance against disposable culture.
We're taught to be stewards of the earth. Every reusable bottle, every cloth bag, and every sustainable choice we make stems from a profound lesson that our actions, however small, shape our future.
So Silliman University as an educational institution is in a very unique position to be able to teach the students from early childhood all the way up to college, these environmental principles to help them rethink their lifestyles and their consumption patterns to choose products that are kinder to the environment.
Silliman University operates a materials recovery facility wherein the Buildings and Grounds Department segregates the waste materials into 3 categories: recyclables, biodegradables, and residuals. The recyclable materials are processed and retained in the facility. Meanwhile, the residuals are collected by the Environmental and Natural Resources Office of Dumaguete and are deposited to the Bayawan City landfill.
Silliman University is living proof that our commitment is not only to education but also to protecting our planet and to our community. These principles, policies, and guidelines that our university has outlined, they are not only a set of rules and policies, they are a promise to our youth and to our planet. A promise that we should take care of our natural resources, our flora and our fauna here in our university as well. With this, we are encouraging the youth to take action and inflict positive change with regards to the different environmental pressing issues in our society today.
Our school is not only committing to a greener tomorrow, but also building a culture where environment is a priority. Through simple and collective actions, we strive for a greener, cleaner future for all, and most importantly, a hopeful today.
These are Silliman's ways of not only protecting our world, but also making it a better place. Here's to a responsible environmental behavior.
Hello there, Sillimanians and friends of Silliman around the world. You are still watching #Silliman. We are still joined by our exchange fellow here, all the way from Montana, United States of America, Lorca Smetana. Lorca, before we took a short break, as I asked you about your experience here in the Philippines, how has it been and kumusta?
I have been amazed almost at every step, not only at the care that I have felt since my arrival, but what feels like an astonishing synchronicity of the things that I love. That I would have ended up here in your city, in Dumaguete, which is renowned in this country for its kindness and for its safety and for its seafood. And to be brought into the company of some brilliant minds of all ages. This is a teacher's dream.
Wow.
And I've been felt so, yes.
How about the Silliman experience? I'm curious, how do you think about the university, the campus that we have, and the kind of learning space we provide for our students, faculty, and staff?
I've been seeing the what feels like a very harmonious mix of history and the new, and of technology, and of a great deal of thoughtfulness and care that has gone into the design, and just looking at the students, how they are with each other, how they speak with each other and with their teachers. There's a lot of aliveness, which is something that I look for in resilient systems.
Right.
And also I look for joy.
Yeah.
Non-resilient systems are less prone to joy, and so here I find it.
Right. Lorca, what do you think would be the funniest thing you find that in your entire Filipino encounter? Like, what you really find the funniest, or something you didn't expect?
I didn't expect. Oh my goodness.
Or perhaps, if that's a very difficult question, something that you would consider your favorite so far.
Yeah, my favorite. I find that your ocean is is a wealth, is a
Wow.
treasure.
Yeah.
And the communities that surround it. And right now I live hundreds of miles inland, and so but I am an island girl transported to the mountains. And so for me it has been such a warmth and a feeling almost of coming home to see your boats, to see your sea life, and the smells and the colors and the people who build their lives around it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you're able also to see that, because I think that's part and portion of the things that we are truly proud of and things that we really work hard for to sustain, right? Because I think that also entails a lot of work, a lot of community engagements, collaborations, and of course leadership, right? Now, we have been here in Silliman University from August 4 to August 6 for our STEM and Resilience Camp. And essentially, guys, it is a camp that is supposed to establish a good sense of self-identity, a good sense of community, and a good sense of sustainable action among STEM thinkers. And all of these are wrapped and integrated with the concept of resilience. And Lorca, how has it been with your experience with our 3-day camp? Kumusta?
I mean, I've felt so often I wanted to just say thank you to you and your fellow teachers who brought their favorite students in and gifted me with students who are not only intelligent, but who are creative thinkers, who have a lot of caring about the world, both their local world, but also the larger world, and who are really eager to be asked to contribute to solutions that we already have. And so as a teacher, it's a dream to have that kind of partnership.
Yeah. How about your discoveries about Filipino resilience? Though it's quite short, but are there discoveries, learnings on resilience as far as Filipino context is concerned?
Yeah, I like that question. I think one of the things that shows up for me is it may be local.
Yeah.
Just from what I've learned, the gift that Dumaguete in this region has of what I experience as a natural spaciousness, right? That you have a natural spaciousness in time, that you build buffer zones so that things can be experienced within a context of presence.
Right.
And then set also in a larger context of broad and deep cultural place of gratitude.
Wow.
For what you have, what you are, and for each other. Those are all things that feed the natural resilience in any person and create a loop so that it can persist. And so those are gifts, I believe, that are very much there. There's another gift that does, there's another gift of resilience that does show up with hardship. And given the situation, the invitation of natural disasters into this archipelago, I would also say that everyone here has experienced a crisis in one way or another, or people near them have. And so there is experience, there is knowledge that they have been through something hard and may well do it again.
Yeah.
And that there are always invitations to learn and apply what they have.
Right.
So those are things that not everybody has.
Yeah. Now, Lorca, when we talk about resilience, people would have the tendency to associate it with a lot of terms, with a lot of concepts.
Yeah.
But I think just to really thicken the line, what is not resilience?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is kind of bad news for some people, but resilience is not endurance. It is not the same thing. Endurance is you harden yourself, you close yourself down in a shell, and you muscle through. But at some point, that works until it doesn't, right? And, and something that is heavily shelled, when it cracks, very often everything goes.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm really more interested is in exploring another more flexible and fluid and softer side of how it is to be strong and soft at the same time. And how to be not reactive, but responsive.
Proactive?
Mm-hmm. How to be not armored, but vulnerable in a way that shows up in yourself as being yourself and real, but shows up from the outside as being courageous, right? When someone is truly vulnerable and authentic with us.
Yeah.
So learning the skills that let us be beautifully, know ourselves first, and then be able to communicate that self in a way that adds strength in everyone around you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful about, because it may like be considered or misinterpreted, or this, we harbor such misconception that's about just going strong and making it through. But
Yeah.
I think a bigger question with that is that something healthy,
Yeah.
sustainable,
Right.
right? So I think resilience is not, as you said,
Yeah.
doesn't look that way. Now, I want also you to share your thoughts on the significance of this exchange between the United States and the Philippines, and Silliman University as the center stage of all of this. What do you think is the importance of this intercultural interaction and, I would say, conversations, I would say engagements and exchange?
Yeah. I think one of the ideas that I circle around to again and again in conversations around being beautifully resilient, especially resilient as a leader, is that one of the biggest, most problematic things is blind spots. And we all have them,
Yeah.
right? We all are walking around with certain things that are right in front of us that we can't see.
Right.
Because we have put things in place either to protect ourselves at one point or because it's uncomfortable. And so the practice of becoming resilient is, in fact, the practice of very deliberately courting experiences that soften and weaken our blind spots, that allow us to be with all that is, with all that we are. And when we are too much or too long in communities that are too tight, or in countries only, or with people, only with people who believe what we believe, always, then we gradually build up, without even realizing it, we build up blinkers like this. And I believe that ultimately, both for the world, but also for our immediate lives, many of the solutions that we need that are the most beautiful, effective, lasting, are going to be out here. And we need to practice on a regular basis, creating structure that invites us to really be with other people's experience.
Sure.
So this does that again and again in the conversations both that can occur in person, when you come to us, when we come to you, but also in the ongoing relationships that get built and spread as a result.
And I think that's the beauty of all of this, because we'll get to build relationships that's not defined by boundaries, not defined by race, nor by origin, but we are making relationships because of love, because of shared joy.
Shared joy, respect.
Respect.
Yeah.
And I think
honoring.
And resilience.
And resilience.
Shared resilience. Thank you so much, Lorca, for joining us tonight. And we have been so enriched. We have been so nourished with your partnership with us here at Silliman University, and of course, the whole Philippines as part of this exchange project. And are there special people or set of people you'd like to acknowledge?
Yes.
And if there are socials you'd like to promote as well, or you have a site that people can reach out to you, should they want to make contact with you, go ahead.
Yes. I am deeply grateful to Silliman University, to the U.S. State Department and the Young Southeast Asian Leadership Institute, which provided our initial introduction, the American Council, which has facilitated my voyage here with a great deal of grace and detail.
Shout out to Anna and the team,
Yes.
Charles.
And initially, a beautiful friend of mine, also connected with the University of Montana and YSEALI, was Britt Ide, who is an extraordinary leader in energy work in the United States. And especially to you, Sir Josh. It has been such a true meeting of both minds and spirit, and it is a delight to meet every day.
And of course, no, we express our warmest thanks to all the participants who took part of this 3-day STEM Resilience Camp. All our wishes and desires is that for you to really keep that conversation. If you have not yet started, start it. And if you've started it, keep it going. That conversations with ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're one step closer to being resilient. And of course, biggest thanks as well to our university president, Dr. Betty Cernol McCann, for the support, to all the principals who have also given their warm assistance and guidance to all our participants, and of course to our Silliman University Library System, to its former university librarian, Assistant Professor Sara Angela Ragay, and its newly minted University Librarian, Dr. Rosalinda Dinoy. And of course, shout out to the American Corner Coordinator, Angie Halanduan, and her wonderful student assistants. Thank you very much. And Lorca, once again, daghan kayong salamat.
Thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to this extended through time. And if anyone wants to continue conversations, then I can be found on LinkedIn and Instagram. And my website is my name, lorcasmetana.com. And I treasure expanding my world infinitely.
Thank you so much again, Lorca. And of course, to our televiewers, know that you are resilient. It's just waiting for you to begin that conversation. And well, challenges are always there, but as they say, challenges are like waves in the ocean. They keep on coming, but they keep us moving. Until next week, and to God be the glory. Hello there, Dumaguetes, Sillimanians, and friends of Silliman around the world. Dagang salamat for joining another episode of #Silliman. Continue as well to support our Facebook page. It's called #Silliman. Don't forget to share, like, and comment on your favorite episodes. And we also have a YouTube channel. It's called #Silliman. Don't forget to share and click the notification bell for you to be updated with our recent posts, and see you there. And we are airing every Monday night. That's 8 p.m. via Channel 6 Phil Products Dumaguete. And replays will be every Tuesday before the noontime news and Saturday after the noontime news. On behalf of Ronelyn Faith Vailoces-No, this has been Joshua Soldivillo. Kita-kits next week, only here on #Silliman.